Welcome to the Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show, where we make plant-based cooking easy. I'm Jill, and today I'm going to teach you how to make cinnamon roll oatmeal.
It's the all-free whole food plant-based cooking show.
Boy, are you going to love me for this one. So you've gone plant-based, or you've been plant-based for a while, and you've been eating your oats because that's what everybody says to do, right? Eat your oats for breakfast or oatmeal. And you know, if you're like me, I get really bored with oatmeal. You know, I try to put different toppings, fruit and nuts and stuff, but I just get so bored. And I was thinking, what's my favorite food on the planet, besides pizza, of course, is cinnamon rolls. But cinnamon rolls, you know, not always that great for you. Full of sugar, and you have to use some kind of shortening to make them nice and fluffy. So we're not going to do that. We're going to make our oatmeal, which is absolutely healthy for you, taste like cinnamon rolls. So we are going to start with the frosting because that needs to set up a little bit and thicken while we're cooking our oatmeal. So you're going to need a blender, and I've got my BlendTec here, but you can use a NutriBullet or just a regular blender. Any of them will work just fine. I'm going to start off with a half a cup of cashews, and the whole recipe will be in a link in the details below. So I've got a half a cup of cashews, a cup of water, but I'm probably going to use maybe closer to 3/4 of a cup of water, and we can always add more water if it gets too thick. 2 dates, and a half a teaspoon of vanilla. And then we're just going to blend it until it's really smooth and creamy. Okay, you can see that is like, oh my gosh, it smells so good. And I'm going to put it in this container that has a spout on it so that you can make it really, you know, you gotta make that swirl on the top of your cinnamon roll to make it look like a cinnamon roll. So we're just gonna pour this in this container, and we're gonna let it sit for a little bit so it can thicken up a little bit, because the cashews will thicken over time. And I made a bigger amount of this so that you can keep this in the fridge, because you're going to want to have this more than just once. Okay, so on to the oatmeal. So I just have this is a serving for one. So I have a half a cup of oats. And then I'm going to blend, because we're going to use dates as the sweetener, cinnamon, and a half a teaspoon of vanilla. But I'm going to blend these three together before I put it into the oats. Okay. So in go the ingredients. Okay, so now that this is all blended, I'm just going to pour this into my oats. And I'm going to let that cook until it's the thickness that I like. I don't like mine super thick, but for this cinnamon roll one, it needs to be a little bit more firm so that when you put your icing on, it kind of stays put. So I'm gonna cook it for anywhere from 5 minutes to 8 minutes or so, and then we get to eat it. Okay guys, the oatmeal is done. So now we just get to put it in our pan, our bowl, decorate it a little bit, and eat. You guys are gonna love this one so much. And if your kids, you know, if you're struggling to get your kids to eat oatmeal, this is a surefire way. Or if you're just transitioning onto a plant-based diet and oats, you know, oatmeal is just way too boring for you, this will definitely help you get through that time. And if it's a little too sweet for you, just take out one of the dates, or if you want more sweetness, add another date. But I feel like this is pretty good. So what we have here too, remember a couple weeks ago I made that pecan pie for the holidays, so I used some of my leftover pecans and just toasted them lightly. I had my oven on 350 and it just takes a few minutes. You have to watch them really carefully though because they burn really quickly. So we're gonna use our setup just about perfect. I'm gonna use this, decorate the top, sprinkle some pecans on the top. Oh my gosh, my mouth is watering. This smells so good. And I can tell you, it tastes amazing because we've had this many, many times already, just testing it to make for you guys. There you go. Oh, it's always gonna be so hot, but. I can finally have my cinnamon rolls. You are just going to love this. I'll see you next time. I need to be alone.